This is my video response to the 2014 Prepper Unplugged challenge. I'm going to show you the bunnies while I talk. My challenge was flooding, and the reason I picked this challenge is because on June 28th, 2013, I was flooded. I'm going to be doing my entry as kind of a combination of live video and pictures, because my event happened over a full year. I went the first 5 months from July until December 2nd, totally without power, totally without water. There was no running water in my house. There was no power. There was no heat for 5 months. We didn't record a whole lot back then because, of course, we had other concerns. We were actually going through a SHTF situation. So I have to go back and just show pictures of the items that we've used, because here it is, the beginning of June, and I'm just getting a chance to really think about other things rather than just living. It took out my furnace, my well pump, my hot water heater, everything in the basement. I am still just recovering from this. I still don't have power in my house. I do have power outside my house. We're not using it right now because I'm doing the challenge. I have 16 plugs outside my house on a temporary stand thing that'll be removed after we rewire the whole house. Yes, we have to rewire the whole house, every room. My house has 1950s wiring, and we knew this when we bought the house, and we expected to have to put some work in. We did not expect to have to redo everything all at once, and I mean everything. This flood happened in less than 5 hours. We had 8 inches of rain in 5 hours. As it got light, I got up and noticed that there was a couple inches of water running across the ground from the farmers' hills. Within 45 minutes, it was 2 feet deep. It did not get into the bunny area. It did not get into the garage, but it was right there. What we lost was the basement, everything that was below ground level. So, for the last year, I heated my house, New York, minus 40 degrees, with 2 Caro heaters. We have since bought a wood stove that we'll be installing this summer. So this is our generator. It's a Generac, and it runs the fridge, 2 computers, the TV, if we want it without a computer, 4 lights, and the microwave if we're not running the fridge or the TV, the modem, and an external hard drive, and the printer. So it'll run quite a bit, just this little thing. If you are dealing with life and living every day, you're going to find you do not need your TV. You need something to keep your food from going bad. I wanted to stay connected to the internet because I needed information. The bridges between my house and town were out. So it did run the modem for the phone line. The town above us and the town below us were devastated. What do we do for water? We have 275 gallon totes, which we drive to a spring right now and we fill. I also collect rainwater for the animals and flushing the toilet. We are not on city water. We have a well, which has to be tested before we can use it. Since we're just getting the well pump in, we won't be using it for a while. But it's okay. It would be okay once they get it up and running. Of course, you have to run power to your well pump, and we're still working on the power part. But that would be okay for showering and for flushing your toilet. I would not cook or eat with it right away until I have it tested. So we're going to be hauling water for a while. When you don't have any power, barbecue. Double bacon cheeseburger. When we cook large meals. And then when the generator's running, we'll heat something up if we want it hot. A lot of stuff that we make right now, we make for cold eating. Now for lighting at night, we went with the yard solar lights. I just tuck them in a jar after they charge and it stays on almost all night. So those were really convenient. Keep them in mind, definitely get them for your storage. I'm going to pick up a few more cases for out in the garage storage myself. Heat is an issue at -40. I have a 1,500 square foot home. We are using the downstairs of it, so about 900 square feet. It takes 2 of the Dynalite Caro heaters to heat that to be comfortable. Now we can get away with 1, and we would have to store massive amounts of Caro for a whole winter. But for a couple days, 5 gallons of Caro will heat you for 2 days in my house, even in the winter, even at 40 below. I have 4 or 5 gallon containers in the garage right now, refilled, because it's now, June in New York. We were one of the only people that had a non-cordless phone. So we were one of the only people in the area, because the cell towers were out, that could call for help. When we called for help, they couldn't come. They couldn't get to us. I have thought long and hard about the amount of solar that I need for my home immediately for another SHTF situation, and decided I want to be able to run the well pump, the hot water heater, and the refrigerator. That's it. That is what is necessary. All the lighting, everything else can either be generator or put in later as I get more, but that is my bare minimum. 1 refrigerator, 1 well pump, and 1 hot water heater. Once the wood stove goes in, the furnace becomes irrelevant. I will probably never turn that furnace on again. Heating costs are crazy here. In 2 days, we go through 3 cases of water for eating and drinking. Another thing I learned was that we need to get a hand pump on our well. If we'd had a hand pump, we would not have had to haul water for the non-food things, like flushing toilets. I'm glad I got to do this challenge, and I'm actually glad I had this small SHTF situation. Now I know what I need. I need a wood stove. I need a well pump, hand well pump. I need a way to move things in the winter that are heavy. A sled. You know, I learned all these things. The reality of what happens to you in a SHTF situation. First, you don't have time to think. You don't have time to think, you don't have time to take pictures, you don't have time to take videos while it's going on. As it subsides, you might, like I did, pick up a camera. About 4 hours after everything had gone through and the water had receded and I realized I had no power, I cried for probably 2 straight hours because I was overwhelmed. The adrenaline from dealing with the situation, then the thought of everything that would have to be done, it will overwhelm you. Then you have to sit down with paper and figure out what you have, what you need, what you do. And that takes about 2 days. Meanwhile, you are living off your supplies and you're going, oh, geez, I still have the grill, or oh, geez, you know, I still have a way to go get water. The car wasn't ruined. The truck wasn't ruined. These items are available to me. And as you take stock, you start to find your strength. And that's what you need to do. Because once you find your strength, everything else is easy. It's annoying. It's a pain in the ass. You don't want to get up 5 o'clock in the morning to put your solar charged lights outside because the sun's going to come up. You will do this. You will get up with the sun. You will go to sleep with the sun, especially in the winter. Your Kindle could be your lifesaver. You could have a whole library of how to fix things, how to grow things. Those things will keep you very busy learning. Don't try to know everything. Hope that you have neighbors like I did who have resources and ways to do things. It'll help you. In the long run, you cannot survive alone. You need a community. So if you're planning to bug out alone, know that you can't know everything. You can't cover for everything. You can't do everything. You need a community. You can survive. You will survive.